If you're already lifting, eating clean, and still can't get lean, this video is for you. I'm going to show you how to use cardio to actually burn fat and get shredded without losing muscle, tanking recovery, or wasting hours on the treadmill. I played 6 seasons of Division I football and am training to go to the pros. I've also gotten myself to 201, 3.3% body fat, power cleaning 335, and benching 335. I've trained over 50 high-level athletes and high-performing business owners who do everything right and still stay soft because cardio is crushing their recovery. I've seen exactly what works when stress is high and your fat won't move. In this video, I'll break down 3 things. 1, when cardio helps fat loss. 2, when it actually makes you fatter. And 3, the exact cardio setup and blueprint I use to get lean without wrecking performance. Here we go. Let's get into it. Why most cardio makes you fatter, not leaner, and how to stop wasting your time. We got a business owner here. His name's Jared, and we got him 6-pack lean. He lost right around 40 pounds, got him really shredded. So this is where most people go wrong. More is not always better. I get it. You're a high performer. You want to do more. You always want to add, but sometimes less is more. And especially when you've been a high performer for a long time, you're going to push so hard that you destroy these mechanisms that make it a lot easier to lose that fat and lose that weight and look the best that you can be. At the end of the day, we've got to manage this thing called cortisol. Cortisol comes from stress. Not all stress is bad, and you're pushing deals, you're doing a ton of workouts, you're training hard. That cortisol builds up and it affects our nervous system. Our nervous system is going to be the biggest thing that burns our fat. Like everything else in life, your body is going to adjust. So the more you push, the more it's going to hold on to fat to survive. So if you're doing endless cardio and you've been doing it forever, your body's going to keep packing on more and more fat and retaining it as opposed to burning it. Our body works in cycles, right? Like we have to give it certain stimuluses to make sure that it's comfortable, that it's safe, because it's going to go into protection mode. So say if we didn't do a ton of cardio, well, now our body is primed to burn a ton of fat because it knows, okay, we're not going to die. We don't need to survive. But if you push so hard with the cardio, your body goes into starvation mode. 30 minutes one day is not the same the next. They have that quote, right? The same man never steps in the same river twice. And it's the same with your body. Everything that you do is a cause and then an effect. Chain reactions are constantly happening. And workouts, unfortunately, I hate to break it to you, don't really burn many calories. Okay. And so my method is metabolic priming. That's what we use to get people shredded. This is going to be our cardio system that we use, but metabolic priming is the key because 60% of the way that you burn your calories is through your metabolism. Okay. So today we're going to talk specifically about this cardio, right? And why this is happening. So as your body adapts to regular cardio, the number of calories burned during the same exercise session may decrease. This is straight from Google, just to give you guys a little bit of something to chew on here. Your body is going to become more efficient, like I said, at using energy and performing the activity. So like I said, if we do less, our body is primed that when we add that cardio, it's going to burn fat. Now, if we go immediately run a marathon in one day, our body's going to look for everything it can to protect itself, because now it's like, oh, our body, we need these fats. Fat is energy. It's your long-term energy, right? Carbs is your quick energy. And you probably already know that. But understanding that, like, this is how the body works. Adaptation and all this stuff, it influences how many calories you actually burn in a session. So this is why. And the issue is, if you're not sleeping well, if you're doing a ton of cardio and working out super hard, and then you're also cutting calories, what are we really ramping up? Cortisol. So now digestion begins to be affected and you're not actually recovering. You're not able to flush. So your body's not going to burn fat because it's trying to get that fat. It's the most dense source of energy that you can get to survive. This is why you feel like when you're doing a bunch of cardio and then nothing happens, in fact, you might actually lose fats, because you probably are. You might gain fat. It's because you probably are. You probably are gaining that fat because your body's just looking to survive. Yes, for the same duration, cardio typically burns more calories than weight training. However, weight training offers other benefits like building muscle and mass. So this is where I see a lot of mistakes too. If weight training is done the right way with a certain tempo, you don't even need your cardio. In fact, most of the people that I work with, I bring them in and I take away all the cardio that we're doing and we add food, because what we want to do is we want to use carbs to slowly bring the body back to normal, reduce the cortisol, and then also get the body out of starvation, out of survival mode. That's the issue. You're in survival mode. So we're going to go through the 5 zones of cardio here. That was why that you feel like you're gaining fat, because every time you push so much, your body is looking to protect itself. Okay. So we're going to go through 5 different zones of cardio here. Okay. First one, zone 1. And this is very, very light. Okay. 50 to 60% of your max heart rate, walking, light cycling, able to talk during it. That's how you kind of can get a good feel for it. You don't necessarily have to have a heart monitor. The ones you put on your wrist aren't super accurate. The most accurate ones, if you wanted to do this, would be a strap around your chest. Now, the clients that I work with that want to really improve aerobic capacity or anaerobic capacity, if you know what I'm saying when I say that, then you're on a different level. And that's just like if you're looking to do a long distance race, if you're looking to do some sort of high rocks or really competitive CrossFit, or some people very high level sports, this is a whole different thing. And we're not really going to be optimizing for physique, but this is more for people that are looking to optimize their physique. Now you can do both, but I wouldn't recommend it necessarily. Okay. 85% of your calories that are being burned in this zone 1 are fat. This is why everyone talks about walking and all, like walking is so huge. Steps are huge. In our program, our standard is 10K a day, 10K a day. And it's very, very doable. The easiest ways that we do it, we have systems that we implement, different methods. And what we have is the talk and walk method. It's super simple, but anytime you get a phone call, you get up. If I'm in a room, I'm going to take steps, talk and walk method. And that you'll get thousands and thousands of steps throughout the day. And you won't even notice it. A lot of people like to fidget around when they're talking to people. For me personally, it helps me think when I'm going. Okay, so zone 1, that's going to be key and a really easy thing that we never have to pull back or stop doing in the phase of training. Okay. Zone 2, this is more endurance. Okay. So 60 to 70% of your max heart rate. In order to get your max heart rate, you just take your age and take away 220. Okay. Brisk walking, cycling, swimming, you're still able to talk, but it's a little bit more movement. Okay. And this is going to lead into, this is also why you're still holding on to fat, because the lighter the cardio, right, we're actually burning fat. These other zones, as we get up, what are we burning? We're burning carbohydrates where you're not actually burning fat when you're doing this crazy intense cardio. Okay. You're not actually burning fat. I hate to break it to you. The fuel source, still is fat in zone 2, and 65% of that being fat that you're using. Okay. So that's zone 2. Okay. Zone 3, a little bit more moderate. Okay. So we're getting jogging, some intense strength training, rowing, fast cycling. We can go on and on. There's more effort and it's difficult to talk. Okay. Fuel source here now is fat, carbs, and proteins. Okay. 45% of fat, but this is where the body shifts to using carbs as the main fuel source. So fats, you guys know, avocado, from your fattier meats, beef, all that sort of stuff. Your carbs are your rice, your grains, etc. Okay. Just to go over that really quickly. So your body's going to shift more to burning more of those. Okay. Good for general performance and health, but it's not as great for burning fat, right? Zone 3, it's still really important for heart health to get into this. But in terms of like getting your physique up, it's not going to be the biggest thing. So when we look at these 3 zones, okay, these 3 burn way more fat. We got a little study here. And they reduce lactate through blood circulation, and it stimulates recovery. It's really good, these zones, like I said, for actually burning the fat, not dipping into the carbs, and also not turning our body into panic mode, if that makes sense. So this is just explaining all this and about how these were the most effective, these 3 zones, as opposed to what most people think is very high intensity at burning fat. Okay. Now let's get into zone 4. Okay, here we go. Hard, 80 to 90% of your max heart rate. Okay, this is HIIT, running, power cycling, short burst, difficult to breathe. This is where most people live. They love this. They love the F40. There's nothing wrong with it. But you got to realize that you're not burning fat for fuel at this, right? Like it's carbs and proteins. So you're either doing this to train. We call anaerobic capacity, which is your ability to stop and start and go at a really high intensity. So I play football. So that's my life is, can I run a play at 100% speed? Take a 1-to-1 rest and keep going. When we're doing anaerobic work with my clients, it's a 1-to-2 rest. So we'll be on the salt bike, for example. A really easy template one to just maintain your anaerobic capacity is 20 seconds as hard as you can, 40-second rest on an assault bike for 10 minutes. Aerobic would be it means you're working with oxygen. So it's a little bit longer. It's 2-to-1. 2 to 1. So our heart rate's going to be up. It's not going to be quite as high as anaerobic, but we're going to be holding this for a very steady state. Okay. And that's more of your soccer. Like if I were to give analogies to sports, soccer, basketball, like those, there's still bursts, but the game is very fluid. It's going, as opposed to football is very stop and start. And then zone 5, like a lot of people never ever reach this. It's very rare even for the most elite athletes to reach this. I mean, it's for maybe a minute, couple minutes in the game where you're at 90 to 100% of your max heart rate. This is like all out, maximum effort, gasping for air, and this is just straight carbs and protein. So this is why it's super important, depending on who we're working with. If we're working with somebody who is a very elite athlete that has 4-hour workout sessions and there's a ton of zone 4, zone 5, very intense, then we need carbs. We need a lot more carbs. If we don't, if we're just training for aesthetics, we don't need this, and we don't need as many carbs. And we can be strategic with them. And that goes for everybody, strategic with them for training days, etc. Everybody needs them for their weight sessions and to fuel their workouts. So these 2 zones, right, they get us into a deficit very quickly. This burns a lot of calories, but not as much as our metabolism, right? At the end of the day, if you guys have watched the videos on this channel, you understand that our metabolism is the key, and that's how we unlock it. That's how we make it effortless. And you're destroying it with these 2 zones, unfortunately, if you use them way too much. All right. And then this produces way more lactate and inflammation. So if we go back to this, lactate, it's basically like, that feeling in your muscles where you're like, you can't even move anymore because you've been going so hard. Well, that's what this zone 1 to 3 does, is it stimulates blood circulation and recovery. This is increasing inflammation. This is very intense and requires a lot more recovery to adapt from. And like I said, burns a lot of carbs. So I want to give you guys just a little bit of an idea what we'll do like with a client. And I want to give you some actionable takeaways, right? I told you guys we'd give you the method. Easy. What did I say at the beginning of this? Just start with 10K steps. I'm going to give you these actionable takeaways. 10K steps, 4 sessions of high intensity cardio, Stairmaster, treadmill. That's what I would build up to. Now, like I said, to start, and it's tough to say because I don't know where you're starting at. If you're coming in and you've been grinding cardio for the past 4 months, we're going to take it all away. We're going to take it all away, and we're just going to use food to begin with. I want you guys to think about this, though. Don't lower food and add cardio in the same week if you're looking to lose fat. Okay? What you want to do is really build up your metabolism, because, listen, you can go into a deficit of 1,500 calories and just suffer your face off and be in pain and then gain all the fat back. Or you could do something that's actually sustainable, that creates long-term results, and where you're creating a new baseline every single time that you do it. And that's what it is. So we want to start with 10K steps, and at the most, like I said, high intensity cardio. And then we want our heart rate to be 130, 140. So I guess this is kind of tough giving you a percentage. It'd be like 90 to 110. Like 110 to 130, 140 to 160. 160 to 180, and then 180 plus would be zone 5. So we're right in that zone 2, zone 3. And really, if you don't want to do a marathon, if you don't want to do these things, you don't need to run. You can just do low impact on the joints. And there's other ways like isometrics and things like that we incorporate to build up your tendons and all that sort of stuff. Now, if you want to run, you can run, great. But we just got to make sure that we're preparing for that and planning for that. What you can do is whenever you are in a fat loss stall, you can go up 2,000 steps per stall. Okay. And then just scale up the high intensity cardio per sessions per week, and then minutes per session. So I would do, like four sessions, maybe it's 15 minutes. You work up to that. You would start with, 1 session, 15 minutes, 2 sessions, 15 minutes. And then maybe from there you get up to 30 minutes. You don't need to go more than 30 minutes on the cardio, especially if you're using your metabolism the right way. Like I said earlier, we really want to be smart though. And so we never want to go over 5 times a cardio a week. We want 2 days completely off. They did a study and it's like 2.4 times risk of injury for athletes that don't take 2 rest days a week. And once again, what do we not want to do? Put our body in survival mode. Okay. And then, like I said to begin with, if you're looking to improve VO2 max, lactate threshold, a lot of those words maybe you don't even know, training becomes much different, and you're not really optimizing for fat loss. It kind of just happens. But that training takes a lot of time. And for the business owners, you don't have time. Okay. So, uh, two different, very different paths, but two very similar people that we work with. So this has been why most cardio makes you fatter, not leaner. I hope this answers your questions. If you please have any questions, comment down below. Please comment down below. If you have any other questions, go to my Instagram. Give me a follow on Instagram. I post a ton of information, free game on there to get you guys shredded, to get you guys with your best performance possible, optimal performance. Shoot me a message on Instagram, ask me some questions, and just follow along. I hope you guys appreciate the value. Would love to hear what else you want me to cover, what other questions you have. Other than that, this has been Nolan Ulm, aka Mr. Make It Happen. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Make it happen. Out.